Hi Gemini, I hope you guys are doing great. Welcome to your general reading for the October 17th to the 23rd. So I'm going to do like I did last week. I'm separating career from relationship, but I'm going to be starting with career. So for those of you who don't care about that, just go in the description box below, and I time-stamped it. So you could just jump forward to relationship, okay? Those of you who are hanging out for career, I hope you guys are doing awesome today. We're going to be starting with my Halloween tarot. I'll pull a few cards for clarification. Okay, just to kind of get a lay of the land. Do things a little differently. Some week we'll pull crowning energies. Sometimes I like to just pull a few to get a general message. Getting into this, we have the Two of Bats. We have the Three of Imps, very nice. We have the Death energy, so there's a decision that needs to be made, Gemini, and then we got you, we got the Lovers energy. So the Two of Bats, silly, right? The Two of Bats. The Two of Bats is the Two of Swords, okay? So the Two of Swords is time to compromise and time to make a decision, Gemini. I mean, you may be needing to compromise within a relationship, or some of you may be needing to make a decision to compromise, or both, okay? And then when we have the Three of Imps, this is the Three of Wands, and this is beautiful because this is about a whole new life. I mean, this is Sun in Aries. This is having everything that you need to move forward in a beautiful direction. This is about, teamwork. This is about expansion. Really kind of moving forward here. So I feel like, with the Two of Bats, I just feel like, you're confused between how you're working. Do you want to continue to do what you're doing? Do you want to do what you're doing and make some adjustments? Do you want to leave it all together? Do you even want to stay where you are? Maybe a lot of you just want to move and just do something totally different. But I feel like you're in this space of making this decision and being very focused on, the Three of Imps also is focusing on your money, right? Focusing on commerce and expansion. Very much focusing on that. And then we have this working with the Death energy, which is about big changes, endings, time to move on, time to be reborn here, time to be transformed, Gemini. Absolutely. It's time to transform something, but it's going to require you making that decision, right? Because we have the Lovers energy. Now, the Lovers energy, more than anything, is the need to make a decision because there is a choice. So you have this idea of choice is bookending here. So you need to make a decision between a couple of things. Now, for some of you, the Lovers energy could absolutely have to do with a partnership that you're with, like a business partnership, or anyone that you have a shared soul purpose with. So people that, in your work environment, do you want to work there anymore? This is the thing. You have to make this decision in the Lovers energy. And if you're going to stay, just know that it's not going to be perfect, but everybody has to be willing, ready, and able with you to put in the hard work to make something change. Okay, if you're dealing with people that you work with. For those of you who aren't working with anybody, it could be making that decision within yourself that, all right, if I continue doing what I'm doing, I know it's not perfect, but, it's going to bring me what I need right now, but I have to understand that patience is going to be required, right? It's that kind of energy. Or making the decision where, there's just not enough here for me to feel motivated to continue in this. And I've been playing with this idea for long enough. It's time that I do more proactive work on trying to get my ducks in a row to make that transition, or to just jump head into it. I don't recommend that just because of what's going on in the sky right now, but definitely doing your homework, really getting ready for this transition that you're vibing it, Gemini. Anyway, we know that, right? Yes. Lots of vibing this new beginning. I mean, that always ends up happening. It always does. There's always big change for the node. I mean, you guys are the north node of the moon right now for another year and a half. So lots of beautiful changes, and you feel them right now, but it takes time to roll these things out. That's okay. All right, so let's pull a Celtic cross spread this week, all right? Let's see what's happening now for our Gemini friends. Oh, what's happening now is 5 of Pentacles. So you might be in a poverty mindset. You might just be super worried. Money might be okay. You might just be worried about money. Even though you have it coming in, you're worried about, you know, am I going to keep making money moving into the future? Just kind of this overall sort of, you know, kind of anxiety or just concern. Let's call it a worry having to do with money. You could be experiencing some sort of financial loss right now. You could also be experiencing a sense of isolation within your work, meaning maybe you're all of a sudden like you're working from home. This might be really playing on you. All right, Geminis generally love to have their time alone, but you know, Geminis are very social. It's a very social archetype. And if you pull a Gemini for too long away from people, you feel very isolated. So some of you may be in that space, but there's a sense of worry here, what's happening right now regarding your career. There's something about it that you're worried about. Now let's see what is influencing you for better or worse. We have the King of Wands energy. I would say that this would definitely be a for the better kind of thing. This is very much a bold leader, being very courageous. You might be meeting somebody really charming who is able to help you in some way in your career. This is a really good energy. If it's not that, if it's not another person, because a king, queen, you know, all of the court cards could either be you, someone else, or just a general energetic influence. This is a Cancer and Leo energy. Cancer is all about, it's not only about feeling grounded, feeling rooted. It's not only about home. It's ruled by the moon, which has to do with your emotions. And Leo has to do with our creativity. So you may be very much in this space feeling very courageous to really embrace your creativity right now, Gemini, to actually get on that idea that's been cooking and open up your own business. Start that vlog, start that channel, whatever it is. Start, you know, painting or whatever it is that you've wanted to do. But it has to do with this creativity and really honoring these emotions that you've been feeling about how it is that you know, how you feel about your level of creativity and what it is that you do. So I think that's really beautiful. So as far as the hopes and goals, look at this. We have the Strength card. Wow, do I love this, because this is a Leo energy. I just said the King of Wands is a Cancer and Leo energy. This is Leo. Again, creativity is where that's where our ability to create lives. That's why our children are the 5th house. That's why our entrepreneurial efforts are the 5th house. That's why love affairs, falling in love, the act of sex, these are all things that we create, right? We create these things. But getting this tells me that you're going to be exercising some really solid self-love, some really solid self-respect, and being really brave while you do it. Even if you don't have all the answers, that's all right. That's all right. I mean, right now, this is your goal. This is your goal. And and Gemini, one thing about you guys, right? If you set your mind to something, you're going to do it, even though you guys are a little bit like, oh, I feel this way this minute and this way this minute. When you get a certain resolve, it's very hard to stop you. It just is, you know. So let's see what's going on in the recent past. 10 of Swords in reverse. So the 10 of Swords in reverse is taking a break, finally saying no, feeling a sense of freedom, lightening things up, maybe lightening up your schedule, maybe making the decision to leave something, but there's a lightening up here, right? Because the 10 of Swords in the upright is just like, no, I can't do this anymore. You know, I can't do it anymore. But this is all about a new start. Taking a break, focusing on a new start, recovering. You're recovering here. There's forgiveness. If whoever you have to forgive yourself, forgive your boss, forgive your business partner, whatever it is, and it's about moving on. So whatever it is a little bit of a timeout, a little bit of recovery, focus on the future. Very nice. I like it a lot. Now beneath, what's going on underneath all of this that contributed to the situation is this Ace of Pentacles. So the Ace of Pentacles in reverse could be maybe you went into debt, maybe you were just stressing a lot about money, maybe you were finding that that the money that was coming in was too unstable. It was too up and down. It was this month, it was that month. Or maybe you were dealing with somebody in business who was just too greedy and you just weren't making the money worth the time in that you were putting in. Like it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. So that, I feel like, contributed to the situation here, right? Okay, so let's see what's going on in the near future. We have the Seven of Swords in reverse. So Seven of Swords in reverse is about trying to make amends with somebody. It's some sort of like needing to deal with the fallout of something. Needing to deal with the fallout of something and making amends. So for some of you, this could be indicative of maybe a job that you used to work at and you wanting to go back and heal something so that you could, be okay, working there again for some of you. For others of you, you could be in a space of making amends with what it is that you do right now. Maybe you, in fact, only just need a break. Maybe you just need a break to put things in perspective in a different way. Maybe it's the kind of thing where you need to just sort of reason things out. You might have many, many things going on, Gemini, and you just need to take a break and sit back and say, all right, like seriously, what do I need to reason out here? What do I need to do? And I actually really like this. It's way better than a Seven of Swords in the upright where there's like dishonesty and running away and betrayal. You're not running away from anything. You're sitting down and you're saying, all right, maybe let me just sort of piece together what I've been through. Where am I going? And I that's what I see you doing. I really consider this a kind of, getting your ducks in a row kind of thing. Keeping it real. Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. Especially those of you who are Gemini, either Gemini or Virgo risings. Mercury is your chart ruler. So you might be Gemini sun with a Virgo rising. You guys are going to be feeling this like nobody's business, right? So it's like that double Mercury in there. But not in a bad way. There's transformation happening. Remember what Mercury's retrograde in Scorpio. Scorpio's bottom ruler is Pluto, which is all about transformation. So there's big change going on here. But it's, because it's retrograde, we're going within to figure out, all right, what does this even mean? Let me reason out what I've been through so that I can best figure out where it is that I'm going. I hope that makes sense for you. So let's see what your attitude and your perspective is right now. The Hangman in the reverse. The Hangman in reverse is about first of all, you could be feeling in a space of feeling a little selfish right now. For some of you might be feeling like the victim of something. Some of you might be in a space of processing how somebody was a traitor in your work environment. Some of you may be even in a space of not having to do with anybody or any of that. It could just be like, man, that job, that career, that whatever I've been in has so not been what I signed on for. This was just not what I thought it was going to be. And there's confusion that's inherent in that because the Hangman is about Neptune. It's a Neptunian energy, right? And what I always say about Neptune's always like trying to look at life through a very dirty window or a thick fog. You can kind of see, but you're not sure. So it's this, it's a very confusing energy, whether it's upright or whether it's reverse. It doesn't matter, but it could definitely be this sense of, I went to college for this, or I trained for this, I got into it, and it ended up so not being what they promised or what I read about or what I thought. And you can just very much that's your attitude or perspective right now, which you need to do that because it's very important for us to understand what doesn't work for us in order for us to create something new that does work for us. So the opinions of those close to you right now, it's all about the King of Cups. So Gemini, I feel like you have a lot of support around you. You have somebody who's very tolerant, who's very empathetic. This could be a very supportive energy. Now, for some of you, you could be meeting somebody like this in the workplace where they're offering you something that really resonates with you. For others of you, it's just having very supportive friends or family, maybe your partner, but you having a lot of support as you go through this change right now is what I see, which is nice. Okay, and now let's see what your inner emotions are, your hopes and fears. All right, I mean, I get it. The Fool reverse, it's about, you're afraid that you're going to do something and you're not going to be prepared for it. You're afraid that you're not going to end up having this opportunity to take a new path, a new chance, get on that new path. You're afraid that you're not going to have a really good opportunity to have this new beginning. But remember that these are your inner emotions. This is your hope. And this could be your fear. So I would say that this is your fear right now, is that. Like, what if it's not better on the other side? What if? You want to be careful of that, right? You just want to be careful of that. So we have the Temperance energy as the final outcome in the reverse. This is a disruptive energy. This is an energy of feeling out of control right now. This is an energy of excess. So for some of you, it's not going to be the easiest thing making this transition. So my recommendation here, because we have any of these reversals, you have the power to turn upright. So you got to figure out, where is the disruptive energy coming from? Because there's disruptive energy that's getting in the way of your career. So it could be somebody that you're dealing with in the workplace, or it could be somebody else in your life. It doesn't have to be you, but where things are not copacetic for you to actually make the transition right now. And you have to figure out what that means. It doesn't have to be like an end of the world kind of thing whatsoever. You just have to very much get in touch with, where is that coming from? You know what I mean? Where is that disruptive energy coming from? Is it coming from your partner, maybe your kids, maybe your family, maybe the actual work environment, whatever it is. Or this could just be a very internal energy where you're allowing your anxieties to sort of spin for a minute and get out of control. You got to be careful of that, because listen, change is scary, change is scary, change is scary. We know this. But remember what your goal is. Your goal is to do it anyway. Your goal is to be brave. Your goal is to do something with heart. But I feel like you may be getting very caught up. Because look, I mean, those of you who know about your archetype, Gemini archetype, part of it is when things are slightly imbalanced, it's less that you fall into a depression or anything like that, and it's more that you become very anxious. So you want to make sure you keep your anxiety in check and your worry in check the best you can. The best you can. Set everything up as slowly as you can. That's really the key here. Try not to jump into anything. Take everything piecemeal. That's a great piece of advice I'm giving you right now, Gemini, as far as the change that you're making. Don't do it. Don't worry about it all not falling into place right away. Stick with it. It's going to end up really, really good. Don't worry if you're getting a little bit of resistance against other people. If you're not well received straight out of the gate, that's okay. Stick with it. Stick with it. Okay? And that's what we have for our Gemini friends for career. So let's go into relationship now. Okay? So Gemini friends. So let's start with, I don't think I did Lenormand. Did I do? I didn't do Lenormand for your career. Jackie. I didn't. I don't think I did. So I'm going to now. The dice, taking a chance. Networking, getting out there, getting onto social media. This is like a pretty straightforward Lenormand read. All right, let me just pull one more, even though I can already see what it is. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Not really adding much more to what we just pulled for career, but this is about taking a chance. This is a part having to do with networking, social media, taking a chance and putting yourself out there. This is particularly relevant for those of you who are thinking about starting some sort of podcast, a vlog, some sort of channel, maybe doing some sort of e-commerce, anything that would require the internet, taking a chance and creating a new cycle. What I like about this is we have the cage, and the cage is all about, Gemini, what are you going to do? Are you going to allow the cage to stay open so that you can have this new experience? Are you going to allow yourself to run into the cage, lock yourself in, and live in that gilded cage for the rest of your life? Or are you going to take that chance? right? Keep it open, because look at this. We have the Tower, and in Lenormand, Tower is all about receiving the support that you need. So this is getting the support that you need from industry, from corporations, from people out there, outside of you. So this has to do with like the greater collective. So you being supported ultimately. So take the chance. This is very, okay, beautiful. Beautiful. All right, so let me do a few solid shuffles of these, and then we're going to pull for relationship, okay? Pull some Lenormand for relationship. For Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Remember, you want to try to check all your signs if you can. If you don't know, just hop on any free birth chart calculator. If you don't know your time of birth, it's not possible for you to find out your house placements. And I always recommend contacting the board of the Office of Records for wherever you were born, because there is a record of you somewhere, unless it's a very unique situation, obviously. But you want to make sure, guys, for those of you who do that, I've been talking about this a lot lately, you have to request a version with your birth time on it. Otherwise, they're going to send you one of these modern birth certificates that doesn't have your birth time on it. So you have to actually call them and request it in person. Okay, relationship. I like how we're starting out. Clover. Anchor. Foundation. Very wise message coming in. Having what you need. Working with what you need. Working with what you have. Some sort of information that you need to look at. Time is an issue for you right now, Gemini. Okay, and we have the stars. So whatever's going on here in your relationship life, having to do with love, whether you're single, whether you're committed and fabulous, whether you're committed and complicated, whether you guys are broken up, somebody's in your energy field, whatever, the stars does mean everything. This is a very preordained connection here. I'm feeling like somebody has been feeling like they need more of something. All right, that makes no sense. So let me articulate what I'm feeling more. As we have the clover and the anchor, those are two fabulous energies to get. We have clover and the stars, the star. So there's somebody that you're absolutely meant to be with. And the anchoring means accepting the reality of something so that you can have this strong foundation. And it's something that you might have been feeling a little resistant to, or somebody that you've been dealing with has been a little resistant to, but you're getting this message either from an elder in your life or somebody who's crossed over. You know, as I always say, like with this and the lilies, these are two energies that pay attention to smells, repeating numbers, your technology going a little wacky. It's not only because Mercury is retrograde. The temperature in your room changing, all sudden smells, anything like that. But there's some sort of message that's coming into you that really wants you to know that whoever you are and whatever you have right now within this relationship is enough. It's enough. With the fish, it's about what do you have right now? It's enough. You don't need more than this, but you need to understand something in a different way with the book of knowledge. And there's a time element about this, like either too much time is passing, time is of the essence, or you're just basically very well aware of time right now. But you're needing to really, really learn right now that whatever is going on in the relationship, whatever is going on with you, Gemini, this could really certainly be, okay, Gemini, you're more than enough exactly how you are. So if you're struggling with any sort of insecurity, vulnerability, having to do with anything inside of you that's impacting the relationship, the Lenormand is saying, no, Gem, you're enough. The fish is enough, and the book of knowledge is something that you need to learn that how exactly the way you are is perfect. It's perfect. And I feel like a lot of you guys are very feeling this very intuitively, that's very common. It's a very kind of a common psychological processing that the North Node energy will go through approaching mid-process. So, which is exactly you guys right now, where any sort of vulnerabilities, insecurities are going to be brought up to and to look at, you know, brought up to the surface to look at. But in a beautiful way, because it's going to be like, you know what, I'm fabulous. Right? Gem? Just the way you are. You're more than enough. You're more than enough. All right, so let's pull, again, a Celtic cross spread. Start off with what's happening now. Get a little lay of the land. What's going on? Gemini friends. Okay, Ten of Swords in reverse is what's going on right now. So Ten of Swords in reverse is a fresh new start. You're recovering from something. You're in the process of trying to forgive yourself, forgive somebody else for something. And it's a moving on, though. It's a moving on from where you were. And you are now in this fabulous space of recovery and focusing on a new start. Then we have the Four of Pentacles. So I don't blame you for this. I mean, you're very focused on having a relationship that provides long-term security. You're very focused on this. You don't want any flippant energy. You don't want anybody that's like a for now kind of thing. You want a long-term connection, a long-term commitment. That's what you want. And you're not willing to busy yourself with anything else. Now, at the same time, because this is a relationship read, Pentacles also means mental, physical, and emotional connection. So some of you may be in a space where it's like, I want that long-term commitment and security with, you know, within that commitment, but I'm also feeling kind of self-protective right now. You know, that's what that means here. Your hope and goal, hope and or goal here. Seven of Cups in reverse. Seven of Cups in reverse is about clarity. Gemini, the illusion has ended. This is about you having a restored sense of self, a restored sense of faith in relationship, because you probably haven't had it for a little bit. And that's what this is. So I like it. Clarity and the illusion of something, the illusion of what is that relationship supposed to be like, the illusion of a person ending, the illusion of what you thought you actually wanted. Maybe you actually don't want what you thought you wanted anymore. You know, it depends. But let's see what your recent experience has been, your recent past. King of Cups in reverse. So you were dealing with somebody who was very emotionally manipulative. Some of you, somebody who was very abusive. You know, but when we have the Cups reversed, especially the King, this is somebody who was very emotionally manipulative, where, you know, they always wanted to kind of control the narrative of the relationship. They would do whatever they had to do in order to do that. And that's, you know, that could be really challenging. Now, maybe you were the emotional manipulator. Could be. I'm not judging. I'm just saying that the energies could always be vice versa. So you're going to know. Or maybe you both were. Maybe you were both emotionally manipulating each other. That can happen out of insecurities, out of, you know, really believing that something needs to be a certain way. Absolutely. All right. Beneath the story, the history that contributes to this situation here, we have the Hierophant reverse. So the Hierophant reverse is, you know, really having an issue with with conforming to the way something is supposed to be. This could also have to do with either you or the person that you've been dealing with, or even you if you're single. You're very in the space of realizing that you maybe have a little bit of an original perspective when it comes to relationships. And you have a problem when it comes to having to conform to expectations, when you have to conform to conventional roles, anything that is considered a conventional role. The Hierophant, that's what the Hierophant reverse means. I like this reverse because this says that you're willing and in touch with the fact that you're your own person, and you might not be really on board with that. at the same time, this could certainly be somebody who you're dealing with. Gemini, you might be dealing with somebody who just doesn't want to get married, or who just doesn't want to do something the conventional way. It doesn't mean they don't love you. It doesn't mean you don't love them, if that's how it is. But see, I do feel like there is this idea of, somebody may be wanting something more in a traditional way, and one of you guys having issue with that. If you're single, this could indicate that you really maybe don't want to get married. You're just not on board with all of that. You're just not, and that's a history of your situation right now. Or that you've been dealing with an energy again that didn't want to get married. Okay, now we have, all right, the Four of Swords in reverse is your attitude or perspective right now. No, I'm sorry. It is your the near future, before we get into that. So that is really feeling sort of a little burnt out, a little anxious, a little restless about something. You very feeling like ready to act, feeling very ready to act. Because the Four of Swords in the upright is about taking a rest, taking a break, thinking things through. And the Four of Swords, you're like, I've done enough thinking. I've done enough thinking. I'm ready to move. I have the rest of my life at hand here, and I'm really just ready to move and do something. I don't want to sit around and wait anymore. Right, now the next card is going to be your perspective, your attitude about this whole thing. We have the King of Swords reverse. So the King of Swords reverse is right now, gotta call it what it is, Gemini. Right now, this is, are you being totally honest with somebody? Are you being like a little manipulative right now? Is there something that you might be doing right now where maybe you're talking to two people at once, or you're not being 100% honest with somebody, right? Because the swords are communication and truth. And in the reverse, maybe some of you are refusing to talk to somebody. Maybe others of you, when you're talking to somebody, you're not being 100% truthful for whatever the reason. Maybe because you don't know how you feel. Or maybe because there are so many reasons why someone would not be 100% forthcoming. Now, could it be absolute flat out lying? Yes, it can be. Could be like, you being like a con right now, but it doesn't have to be. This could just be, the energies could always be flip-flopped. Yes, you could be dealing with this energy, but this position is really your attitude and your perspective right now. So your attitude can be, and your perspective can be, that whatever relationship you were in, you always seem to end up with somebody who couldn't be honest with you, with somebody who would say one thing and do another. That could be your perspective regarding relationship, or regarding this person that you were involved with. Right? Or it can be you doing this. But whatever it is, it's like saying one thing, doing another, speaking out of both sides of one's mouth. You know what I'm saying? So however it resonates with you, this is a general reading. So it could be an energy that you've experienced, or something that you're exercising right now. Now, when it comes to the opinions of those close to you, we have the Six of Swords. So the Six of Swords is very much about a necessary transition, moving away, right? So like the way somebody else sees this relationship happening right now, Gemini, is you're moving away from them, or they're moving away from you. This necessary moving away from something. Now, for those of you who are single, you could still have somebody hanging in your energy field, though, that you are like making this final decision to, and they realize like you're not going back, they're realizing that you are transitioning away from them, somebody who may still have you in their energy field. But for other, and also this could also be indicative of you transitioning out of being, people seeing in your life, those around you, maybe people, your friends, your family members, maybe somebody who you were in a relationship with, they're looking at you and they're like, wow, Gemini, you are really you're moving in a different direction in relationship. There's definitely this moving forward kind of of energy here. Now, when it comes to your hopes and fears, we have the Five of Cups in reverse. Five of Cups in reverse is moving on, but it's with forgiveness. Hope is returning to you. There is recovery here. So, and this is really what you're hoping. It's a hope and a fear. So I feel like there is a fear of change, but you're hoping that that change is going to end up inciting this kind of new hope, this recovery. Five of Cups is much better in the reverse. It's also an energy of sort of coming back to life, getting back out there among the people again, you know, maybe even like contacting friends and just sort of like getting back to life again, you know, and that can be definitely something that a lot of you are hoping, but at the same time, there is an element of fear to it. So let's see what we have as that final outcome energy. We have the Judgment in the reverse. So the Judgment in the reverse, this could be about denial, an error in judgment, fearing change, feeling just really weak about a person. You know, guys, just keep in mind, even though it's a major arcana, this is only 1 week, but let's just, you know, talk about that. It's like, you know, something's not working for you, but then there's this, you're in denial about something, or you're dealing with somebody else being in denial, somebody making a mistake, you making a mistake, right? An error in judgment, but fearing change. So you want to make sure, like, if you are in an unhealthy relationship or an unhealthy cycle, or you just keep dealing with an energy that you like, you keep going back and trying to make it work, and you have to get to a point where you realize, Jesus, you know, is this even worth it anymore, right? And maybe you just keep going back to that familiar energy because you're afraid of change, because there's this element of weakness to the whole situation, that there's something about it that you just can't let go of, but yet you know it's not really the right thing for you, or so you think right now. So my advice, Gemini, don't do anything huge right now when it comes to relationship. Try your very, very best to try to not make a big global decision to 100% either end something or agree to something, because you're afraid of either being alone or fear of releasing that energy, or letting fear get in the way. There are so many ways that fear can be a thing, right? But just be mindful of that. And just know that it's very, very normal for Gemini to feel, you know, when Mercury is retrograde, particularly in Scorpio, particularly because it's happening in your 8th house, which is that house of we, right? You're going to be remembering a lot and going back to a lot of things that need to be worked out as far as how you show up in relationship, how they showed up. And it's this, you know, going to be this rising to the surface of this energy that really needs to be looked at and have some light shown on, and either be released, revisited in a healthy way, whatever, but it's got to be done in a healthy way, and not because you're scared, right? Not because you're scared of letting it go, but maybe, you know, embracing it in a different way because it's something that you know is can ultimately be actually very good for you. Wow, that was a very deep reading. It was very deep. I'm a Gemini sun. That was not my reading. I don't know who it's for, but I don't mix the energies anyway, guys. Not at all. Doing this a long time. He practiced not looking at things from that perspective, okay? Phoenix, new phase, rekindling, renew, transformation, growth, changed mind. Yeah, I have a feeling I know what's going on here. Self-indulgent, focus on self-worth, time to heal, shadow work, self-appreciation. Ascending, transcending obstacles, learning, expansion, new phase. Separation, missing you, thinking about you, yearning, but unsure of the future. All right, this is the thing. Gemini, you're going to realize whatever area, okay, and please don't say, no, I'm not, okay? There's some area in your life that you're feeling very vulnerable, very insecure. Am I enough? Maybe even, are they enough? Is this situation enough? Is it me? Is it them? Is it the situation? Is this enough? And you're going to be having these realizations, this epiphany that it's everything that you need. You just have to change your perspective a little bit. Now, this could mean finally leaving an unhealthy relationship, finally returning to a very healthy relationship, maybe doing both of those things at the same time for some of you. For others of you, it's this making a decision, though, where you're entering this new phase and you're transforming and you're growing. But it's all about the kernel of it all is your self-worth. And appreciating yourself and how valuable you are and what you bring to a relationship. And understand you have to be with an energy that respects that and that honors that. And that'll be the key marker. Because if you're with somebody who's just not hearing you and they're not deeply appreciating you, it's time to get rid of that energy and transform yourself and transcend any of that toxic nonsense that you have on yourself because of them. For others of you, it's going to require a beautiful, beautiful conversation where there's connection and there's empathy and there's compromise and there's understanding. And they do appreciate you more than you even realized. And you guys having this absolutely fabulous rekindling of something. You might be a little unsure of the future because maybe you guys have been through a lot together, and that's okay. One day at a time. One day at a time. There's a lot of emotion here, though. There's no question for whoever this was for. So that is what I have for you, my friends. I hope this was helpful in some way. Thank you so much for joining me. See you guys next week. Bye-bye.